Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for Championship preview and predictions round 37. We've gone up the hill. We've taken the bend. And yes, we are on the home straight now. It's not quite the last bit, but we're definitely on that home straight. 10 to go. And we've got a midweek round. We've got a weekend round as well. So there'll be 8 games to go this time on Monday. And my goodness, it's starting to look exciting. I did a video yesterday looking at the race for the top 2, which we think pretty reasonably is going to be between Swansea, Brentford and Watford. It is all hotting up. And I dare say he who make the first mistake will be punished with everybody winning in the last round as well. Up the top, lots to go on at the bottom as well. And the return of Rotherham and Coventry this round. We haven't seen them for a little while. I wonder what their influence will be on the final days of the season. There are our fixtures ticking along the bottom. That is the order that we will be looking at each game. And we're going to be having a little look and a little prediction at each and every one of these games. And if you are watching and you are in the chat, I want your predictions too. Always a good time here on the preview show. Let's do a couple of plugs and then we'll get into it. Big thank you to the Donovan brothers who sponsor our show here in loving memory of Michael Donovan of South East London, a lifelong Millwall fan and admirer of this show. Thank you to the Donovan brothers. Ever presence this season. Brilliant stuff from them. They got involved over on Patreon where you can subscribe. Exclusive shows there. Thursday Q&A. Quick predictions and classics reviews. Episode 2 has come out today. Patreon exclusive show. Looking back at some great games on that one. Troy Deeney and Leicester beating Watford beating Leicester, in the playoffs. Radian Tish and Luton at Manchester City, and the first ever Premier League goal by Brian Dean of Sheffield United. You two, you can get involved also via Super Chat. Any point during the broadcast. First Super Chat becomes king of the bin. And for the princely sum of nothing, hit that like button wherever you see it. Have your say and share your knowledge in the comments and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. Never miss a video. Should we get into this? Here are your round 37 fixtures. 6 and 6 again, Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll review tonight's games tomorrow at 1 and review tomorrow night's games on Thursday at 1. You know the drill this mental season, don't you? So tonight, Cardiff versus Stoke. Derby versus Brentford, Luton versus Coventry, Borough versus Preston, Rotherham versus Watford, Bournemouth versus Swansea. So we've got 5 7 PMs, 1 7:45. It will be a Tuesday night super stream tonight, starting at 6:50. Come and join me for that. We'll be on the red button until the second half of Bournemouth Swansea, when all the other games are finished, and we will carry on with Bournemouth and Swansea. Then tomorrow night, Forest versus Norwich, QPR versus Millwall, Wickham versus Barnsley, Birmingham versus Reading, Blackburn versus Bristol City, and Sheffield Wednesday versus Huddersfield. Right, let's do this. As ever, we will start at the top, which means Norwich, who recorded an 8th straight victory at the weekend. Get your predictions in for former Norwich manager Chris Hughton and Nottingham Forest against Norwich City. Just give me Forest, Norwich, or draw in this one. So you can see Norwich are very, very nearly there, aren't they? 10 to go, 10 points clear. And we now know 7 wins from those last 10. And Norwich are joining the 100 points club. It's the only thing they've really got left to do now, given that they're probably By my maths, and I've added on 5% to the 10-year average because it looks like we've got a high tide. 88 points looks like it's going to do it for promotion. They're only 9 points off that with 10 games to go. Forest slipping a little bit, and they've got a difficult run of games here. They did draw at home to Reading, but from what I heard from several Reading fans who watched that game, Reading were possibly a little bit wasteful. Let's have a look at the homes and aways. So Forest at home don't lose many, do they? 6 points in the last 5. Just the one defeat there at home to Luton. Norwich are by miles the best away team in the division. A reasonably recent defeat against Swansea, but otherwise 38 points and 12 wins away from home is outstanding from the Canaries. Let's have a look at some comments and some predictions in this one. How high do I have to go? There we go. Let's go from here. Chris says, big week for Swansea, could feasibly be out of the top 2 race by the week if they've not, well, possibly. We'll see. I think it's going to be a bit tighter than that. Looking forward to your video on Bowyer. Right, let's have a look at some predictions here. Martin O'Neill, Derby. Nice. European Cup winner, Martin O'Neill with Forest, wasn't he? Away. Draw. Norwich. See this one being difficult. A draw. Forest win. Norwich win. It's what they do. Draw. A few draws in there. Let's keep scrolling through these. I can't win them all. In the main, some a couple of draws in there, but in the main, Norwich are on this one. Do you know what? I'm going to play my joker on this one because I've predicted Norwich to win for about the last 15 weeks. And it is Chris Hughton, and he can stink out a game. And perhaps Norwich might be a little bit tired. And there's going to be surely there's going to be a little bit of a let up, as they get closer and closer. You never know. You're keeping and they've got the squad to do it. But I'm going to play my joker. Draw. I'm going to go for a draw in this one. What I will say, if Norwich win, that's 9 straight victories. And then we are getting into record territory for Norwich, aren't we? Villa did 10 a couple of seasons ago. Charlton did 12 back before it was called the Championship. Depends when you start counting, frankly. But, let's see how that one pans out. That one's on Wednesday, of course, because Norwich played on Sunday. So obviously they having an extra it's tomorrow. Yeah, extra day. Right. Let's talk Watford and the return of Rotherham. And it's Rotherham versus Watford. Get your predictions in, just Rotherham draw or Watford in there. Watford doing the job. That was the theme, wasn't it, of our review show yesterday? Just get that damn job done, even if it is a dodgy bit of goalkeeping from a 93rd minute free kick. But Watford, we said when Munoz arrived, if they sort out the away form, then there's a challenge here. And they kind of have, haven't they? They're now the 8th best away team in the league. And they were sort of the 15th, 16th, 17th, I think, if we go back to the end of the Ivic days. Even probably further than that after the defeat against Swansea as well. 3 wins in 4 now away from home. So an improvement there. And we all know about their home form. There's Rotherham's home form, which is problematic. 4 defeats in 5 for the Millers against Swansea, Cardiff, Forest and Reading. Now, this is where we get into complete guesswork, isn't it? I dare say our predictions aren't exclusive. Hopefully they're educated guess, but we have no idea how Rotherham are going to come back from the COVID issues. The last time they played was on the 3rd of March. You can see their postponements against Brentford, Luton and Coventry. God, I'm just looking at that Watford record as well. I hadn't realised it was quite so good. 7 wins in 8 for Watford. What, they think they're Barnsley or something? Deary me. So you have a Watford team who are just getting the job done. Not necessarily blowing anybody away other than Bristol City, but they have good players, don't they, Watford? Rotherham just feel a bit of a wild card in this one, don't they? I don't know how they're going to come back after the COVID stuff. Let's have a look. Some predictions here. Draw, away, Watford, draw. Watford. How many times can I say Watford? Many times. There's one for Rotherham. There we go. So in the main, you guys are quite heavily behind Watford here. Rested or rusty? Yeah, we never know, do we? There we go. I'm going to go with the crowd then. I am going to go away on this one. I think they've got the capability to cope with Rotherham. Rotherham can be a really awkward team to play against. In the past, we always would say, especially at New York Stadium, but it seems to be flipping around recent weeks, doesn't it? Slightly better away from home than home. But I'm going for a Watford victory, which would put the pressure on our next 2 opponents, Swansea and Brentford. And it's Bournemouth versus Swansea. A couple of tricky games in a row here for Woodgate and Bournemouth. Get your predictions in. Bournemouth, draw, Swansea. What are you thinking? How is this one playing out tonight? So, Swansea, again, to our theme, just getting the job done, aren't they? However they need to, they are getting the job done. Another good win at Luton. Luton played pretty well in that, but Swansea win tight games. Maybe Bournemouth lose tight games, don't they? So Bournemouth came up against Barnsley on their mad wonder streak at the weekend and lost, and are 5 points outside of the playoffs. So Bournemouth could really do without losing this, and it's a sort of battle of a Premier League team from last year against a Premier League team from, well, not even 2 seasons ago, a 3rd season back. Now, feels like a tricky one to call, doesn't it? Let's check the Bournemouth home form. They are the 6th best team at home in the league, 33 points. Have lost recently to Cardiff and Barnsley, but I can't sit here and say they lose to the better teams because they beat Watford in between those 2 games. Also, look at that, 30 goals scored at home. So pretty useful in front of goal. Swansea's away form's really good, though. 31 points there, 10 in the last 5 for the Swans. And look at that table now. So I've predicted a Watford win. I don't think it's disrespectful to Rotherham to say that Watford have an easier game than Swansea here. You'd probably rather go to Rotherham than you would go to Bournemouth. Anyway, let's stop procrastinating and make a prediction. I'll see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Let's go there. Okay, right. We'll go Frankie first. There, win or bust. It's rock or bust. Don't make me do my AC/DC impression again. Swans, Bournemouth, Swans. This is going to be all over the place, isn't it? Score, draw, Swans, draw. Bournemouth, edge, draw. Swansea. Swansea. Don't rate Woodgate. Fancy Swans to nick this. Bournemouth, Swansea, Bournemouth. All right, Ben. All right. Quite a bit of love for Bournemouth in this one. Wow. So the question is, in my head, do Swansea score in this game? Because they're not actually that great in front of goal, are they? I don't want to be once bitten, twice shy, because I predicted that Bournemouth would win at the weekend and they didn't. But I might play another joker on this one and go against the league table. Home. What am I doing? Why do I do it to myself? I'll go with Bournemouth. I just think goal threat in this one. I think Bournemouth will score in this game. And I don't know. If Swansea win it, they win it 1-0, don't they? So, hey, we'll find out on the Super Stream later, won't we? Right, Derby versus Brentford. Get your predictions in for this one. Derby versus Brentford. Just give me a Derby, a draw, or a Brentford in there. The game is at Pride Park. Derby lost at Pride Park at the weekend against Millwall. It's a bit of a smash and grab by Millwall, who basically scored a header from a corner and had barely any other shots on goal. They are slipping though, Derby, aren't they? Look at that, 2 points in 5. Brentford we did on the watch along, and it was very similar to Swansea, wasn't it? Just got in front and went on and won the game, which sounds very, very straightforward. But if it's going to be a really high tide, we'll probably see that from all three of them. If everybody keeps winning and keeps picking up points, surely someone has a slip out of these three at some point. Brentford, Norgard back in, looked good against Blackburn, didn't he? Still without Henry and Janssen De Silva at the moment. Derby feel a little bit, well, they feel very transitional at the moment, don't they? It feels like we're halfway between Koku's team and what Rooney's team's going to be next season, and loan players in and etc., etc. Let's have a look at the home and away picture. Derby at home, well, they were good up until the last 2 games, had 3 straight wins, but across the season, they've not been good. Brentford are good away, very good away, in fact, although we do have to factor in 3 defeats in a row prior to that win at Blackburn. They lost to QPR, lost to Coventry, and they lost to Norwich. Will Brentford keep up the pace tonight? Let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. Before we do any more, we'll say thank you to Owen for a $10 super chat. I'm not going to talk about penalties, so I'll just read the last bit. Draw at worst for Swans. Thank you very much, Owen. Very, very kind. Right. Where were we here? Right. Brentford. Tony's birthday. So he's 25 today, Ivan Tony. Lovely stuff. Brentford away. Brentford. Let's keep reading these out. Oh, goodness me. About 10 in a row for Brentford there, and then a draw. More for Brentford. Derby always go well against the top teams. Let's keep clicking on all of these so your comments get at least put on the screen. Wool were bad, but Derby were bang average. Janssen is extremely close to Silva, back after the international break. Nice. There we go. Censorship. Absolutely not. No censorship there. Owen, you saw my rant about penalties. Let's move on. Let's just say, remember, censorship would be, I would have not put your comment on the screen in the first place and just blocked it. But thank you for the super chat, of course. No censorship here, but obviously in terms of my free speech rights, I can say and not say what I please. So I haven't made a prediction. Deary me. I'm rattled, being accused of censorship there. Away. I'll go with the chat. Away win for Brentford. Right. Birmingham versus Reading. Check your phones. Has anyone been on the Birmingham Twitter yet? Has Lee Bowyer been announced? It's rumbling on. Rumbling on. Birmingham versus Reading. Get your predictions in. Just give me a Birmingham or give me a Reading in this one. There we go. So, Birmingham, well, in a slightly chaotic situation now, feels a little bit similar to Sheffield United in the respect of how long it's dragged on. Obviously, I dare say the Birmingham players and fans are not attached to Aitor Karanka in the way that the Sheffield United players and fans were attached to Aitor Karanka. So I don't know what the mental state of the Birmingham players is going into this. And they're not very good at home. They're very bad at home, in fact, Birmingham. So it does seem they're a little bit set up to fail in this one. And surely we need to hear something before this match is played. It is tomorrow, so they still have a little bit of time. But it's not ideal preparation, is it? Here's your home form. Look all the way to the bottom there. 12 home defeats. The latest one for Birmingham was at home to Bristol City at the weekend. Reading's away record is very good. Fifth best in the division. And in recent times, 8 points in those last 5. Solitary defeat in there was at Wycombe. And in that time, they've beaten Rotherham and Bristol City and drawn with Forest and Stoke. Little bit of a sense that if you're a lame duck, Reading will turn up and win. Are Birmingham a lame duck at the moment? I suspect they may be. Let's have a look. I'm just going to, Jack, I'm just going to time out you a sec so I can read the comments. Please come back, but it's just scuzzed all the comments in on this one. I know, I saw the rant, yeah. Right, here we go. Away, Reading, draw, Reading, draw. Reading, draw, Reading. Couple of legal issues, but should be Bowyer in the dugout. Could be a draw considering the circumstances. Reading, draw, new manager, trounce. Let's keep. Yeah, I've got a rant about the new manager bounce, haven't I? There we go. Let's keep. Calm down, Jack. We've just popped him in there. But you can come back, Jack. You're all right. You're all right, buddy. There we go. Right. I'm going to go for Reading. I think the chaos might be too much for Birmingham in this one, along with their home form. Away. Let's move on and talk about Barnsley, or should we just give them the win and move on at the moment? Barnsley visit Wycombe, who are at the bottom of the table. Barnsley on their mega run of 8 wins in 9 now? They'd had 7 straight wins, hadn't they? And then they drew with Derby, so it's 8 wins in 9. Get your predictions in. So just give me Wycombe, draw, or Barnsley. Basically, Barnsley are on fire and they're going to the team marooned at the bottom of the table. Need I say much more? But the team marooned at the bottom of the table, Wycombe, did beat Preston over the weekend, didn't they? So I think they've gone back-to-back wins once this season, haven't they, Wycombe? But they are still well adrift there, 9 points adrift of Birmingham, above the line now with 10 games to go. Could come off the bottom, actually, if they were to win and Wednesday were to lose. But that doesn't reckon on Barnsley's incredible momentum at the moment, if you believe in that sort of thing. There's the Barnsley away form. Obviously, 4 straight victories in there. The Wycombe home form, 17 points. So 2 wins in 3. And they have kept clean sheets in both of the wins. Are they going to keep a clean sheet against Barnsley? I'm not so sure. Oh, they are. Let's have a look. Where do we start? We start here with a Wycombe win. There we go. We all want the mighty Ben to read our comments, of course. I'll at least put them up on the screen if I don't read them. Tykes, Wycombe, Barnsley, Wycombe, Barnsley. We're a bit more mixed than this, and I thought we would be. A couple of draws in this. Wouldn't this be typical Championship? Wycombe wins. Well, you see, I went against Barnsley at the weekend thinking, oh, okay, that's where the crazy run finishes. But no, it did not. Spurs fan here. Nice one, Sean. Thank you. You're very welcome in here with the rest of us Championship fans. Wycombe aren't marooned anymore. Don, they're 9 points adrift. Marooned at the bottom. Well, marooned in the relegation zone. You know what I'm saying. Let's not be pedantic. Little scamps, eh? Little rascals of Barnsley. There we go. And a few people think that Wycombe are going to take this. I got off the Barnsley train at the weekend, and I really got off at the wrong stop, didn't I? So I need to get back on the Barnsley train away and go for Barnsley to beat Wycombe. Let's move on. Middlesbrough versus Preston. Preston feel like they're really fizzling out at the moment, don't they? Let's get this up on the screen. Borough versus Preston. Couple of wins in the last 3 for Borough, but they do seem to be just that little bit too far off the playoff race, which really, you got these massive surges from Cardiff and Barnsley recently, and Barnsley's has maintained. Obviously, Cardiff has only picked up 5 points in the last 4, and at the same time, Barnsley have scored, obviously, another 10 points. So we've now got that gap opened up. And even for wily old foxes like Warnock and McCarthy, that gap looks a bit big at the moment. Like I always say, I'll talk to you in 3 wins' time. So, we can see down the road. And it might well be another Borough win here against Preston, who are fizzling out. And I'll say what I said about Derby as well in terms of Preston. It does feel like we're halfway between the previous Alex Neil team and, assuming he's still there next season, the next Alex Neil team. Just feels like a work in progress, and things will be cinched up a bit more, in the summer transfer window. Borough's home form, which we used to get excited about, well, it's righting itself a little bit. 7 points in 4 there. That's probably where their playoff challenge has fallen off, really, because they had several home defeats. But a few home defeats. Preston's away form, which, remember, is, I think they won 5 out of the first 6 or something strange like that. 4 defeats in the last 5 away from home for Preston. A solitary win against a Blackburn. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat about this one. Borough versus Preston. Sorry, Mighty Ben. He's back. Welcome back, Jack. What happens if his phone had played a joke on him then and we all beat up on him? There we go. Right. Let's go here. Borough, Preston, draw. Borough. Draw knock. Borough. Oh, you've emailed me some pics of your bar. Lovely stuff, Nat. I look forward to seeing that after we get this done. Let's keep clicking through here. Draw there from Don. Sophie's on the Barnsley Express with me. I'm in first class, Sophie. Are you joining me? Any more Borough, draw, Preston, Borough. There you go. You got your draw read out there, Jack. Excellent work, my friend. I'm with Draw Knock on this one. No, I'm with Warnock. Home win for Borough. I just think if you go and play away at Warnock and Borough and you're not quite at it, which Preston aren't at the moment, I think you get beat, don't you? And I think Borough got a bit more of a fit first 11 than they've had for a while. We noticed. I know Dyke still got injured, didn't he? But they're using Mendes Lang now, aren't they? And Hall has come back, and I don't know. It just feels a bit more like what Warnock's been going for this season. Right, Cardiff versus Stoke. Get your predictions in for this one, in what could be quite attritional between Mick McCarthy and Michael O'Neill. Cardiff versus Stoke. Stoke are in a race with a couple of other teams to be the first team on the beach before the season ends, and slap bang in the middle. That's where the beach is. The beach is not on the coast, ladies and gentlemen. The beach is as far in the middle, in between the playoffs and the relegation zone, as you can find. It's a different type of coastline, this beach. Why am I talking such nonsense? Cardiff versus Stoke. And, Cardiff barely took their foot off the gas, did they? They were still going win, draw. But draw-loss at the moment against Barnsley means you're trailing in the wake of the Barnsley Express, zooming into the playoff station. I've got to stop with the metaphors, haven't I? So it just depends now. Do Cardiff right the wrongs of 1 point in 2 games and bring it back? I suspect they might. And Stoke, just loads of defeats of late. I think that win is against Wickham, and that's about it. And they're losing. And they've got that lovely symmetry that we sometimes see teams get. Look at that. 1-12, drawn 12, lost 12, 441 against 42. They are a bang average in terms of the numbers they're reading across. And that has left them 13 points off the playoffs with 10 to go. Let's quickly do the home and away. Cardiff at home, 3 consecutive wins before the defeat to Watford in a key game. Stoke away, 4 straight defeats. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Home, Cardiff, draw, Cardiff, Stoke, Cardiff, draw, Cardiff, Stoke, draw, Cardiff, draw. Get your beach towels out. Home. Have I been on the pop? I have had some coffee, I have to say, Lee, which is never good. Love these analogies. They're dreadful, aren't they, James? But the thing is, I'm in on the joke. I know how bad they are, so I kind of labour the Alan Partridge type. Phyllis is huge run for Cardiff. Need to prove their challenge is not petering out. Cardiff. I'm on the Draw Express. Cardiff. And I need to tell you a joke that, God, the idea of me telling a joke is awful. But first of all, I'm going to go home. Cardiff to beat Stoke. I went to a comedy gig at the Edinburgh Festival. We just go to I don't know, about 20 gigs in a day, don't you? And I always like to sit near the front because I know I'll get picked on because of my stupid hair in comedy shows. And it was like a Tim Vine type comedian. So loads of quick gags and puns. And he passes me this sign and he said, hold that up. And it said Peter on it. And he just went, Peter, 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 Peter. Oh, that petered out. And then he took the sign off me. So whenever I see petered out, I remember that beautiful, horrible dad joke that I was involved in at Edinburgh Festival. You had to be there. Blackburn versus Bristol City. Get your predictions in for this one. Blackburn, we saw, didn't we, on Friday night, losing at home to Brentford. And Bradley Dack, very sadly, getting another cruciate knee ligament injury in his other knee, which is just dreadful news for Bradley Dack. Bristol City are really good away from home, which is strange. Since Nigel Pearson has been anywhere near the building, I think got 3 away wins in a row, haven't they? And scored 3 goals in each of them as well. I don't know whether that's a sustainable statistic or a bit of a quirk, but we will find out. And Blackburn, well, I can go back to petered out. That's what's happened to their season. Although prior to the Brentford game, they had got 4 points in 2, courtesy of a winner against Millwall and then a draw against Swansea. So on the basis that their last 2 games were against Brentford and Swansea, maybe there is something here for Blackburn. There is the homes and aways. Although, look at the home form. No wins in the last 5 at home. And there's the 3-game winning streak for Big Nige with Bristol City. This is a tricky one to call, isn't it? As are any games that involve Bristol City this season. Let's have a look here. Shattered dreams, broken promises. Yeah, I think Alan Partridge rode that train to London, didn't he? Anyway, Bristol City have only drawn 3 games this season. About a time they get a draw. Limbs, always limbs. Draw. Pearson has thrown out the beach towels and the sun lounges. Tremendous. Must get a draw sometimes. Okay. Yeah, you got to change subject quickly when you're telling a dad joke. Bristol City, never a clue with Bristol City away. Could be a score draw. Blackburn draw. Oh, we'll take that one. That'll be fun in the Super Stream, wouldn't it? Can anyone predict Bristol City's results? No. There we go. Players coming back from injury, says Paul. Yeah, Callum O'Dowda scored, didn't he? At the weekend. We'll go on then. I can't be accused of sitting, even though I will get accused of sitting on the fence because people just hold me to a higher standard, frankly. Draw! I'm going with the chat who said draw many, many times over. Let's go QPR versus Millwall in the Matt Smith derby here. QPR versus Millwall. Get your predictions in for a London derby here. Shepherd's Bush versus South Bermondsey. And there we go. Get your predictions in. Rangers at home, draw, or Millwall, an away win. What do you think? Millwall, I mean, when you look at it, if they finish 10th or even 9th, I know they're 4 points off, they'll have had another good season, won't they? I know they've had 2 8th places since they've been up. And I think like a 18th, 19th or 20th or something in the other season. Might have even been 21st. I can't remember. But yeah, it's all good looking at the table, isn't it? I know Millwall fans might have some reservations about where the whole thing's going and how they've got there, but you know, the table never lies, apart from when it lies. So 2 wins in the last 3 for Millwall, including another win at Derby. They always seem to win at Derby, don't they? Rangers, well, they had back-to-back wins and a defeat at home to Huddersfield, which does open up the possibility. If you can lose at home to Huddersfield, you can lose at home to Millwall. Rangers' home form is good. In the last 5, 9 points. They're halfway up the table for home form. Millwall's away form is top 6 in the division, 27 points. It's their home form that has meant that they've not gone too much higher than that. Although I dare say 27 add 27 would only be 54, wouldn't it? If their home form matched their away form. What are you guys saying in the chat? QPR versus Millwall. What a fantastic vintage jumper. I know, but the annoying thing is, Liam, and it looks like I've stolen this when I tell you this. Where is the thing? I walked out of the shop and it still had the bleepy bleep thing on it. So we had to quit. I remember I was working at a music shop in Ipswich at the time, and I literally walked in with the thing still. I said, what am I going to do to get this off? And then all this ink comes out of it there. So it is a nice vintage jumper. And it looks like I've stolen it, but I haven't. I'm not a thief. I promise. Board draw, 0-0. Millwall, QPR, Millwall. QPR, draw. Always goals in this one. Generally a score draw. Interesting. Millwall overdrew a draw. Try saying that quickly. Draw because it's Millwall. What is going on here? Beach kick around. Lots of draws and whatnot. What's a monkey? A monkey draw? Is that a scoring draw? I don't know. Millwall, QPR, Park Rangers, Queens. We're all over the place for this one. I'd better go for a decisive result then, because I've already had a couple of draws. And I can see a possible couple of other ones coming up. What am I going to go for? Oh, this is a tricky one. Oh, screw it. I'll go for a draw then. Draw! Right, no more draws. I promise. No more draws for the last two predictions. Right, Luton versus Coventry. Get your predictions in for this one. Coventry feels like we haven't seen them for a little while. Luton, we've seen a lot of because they were on the Super Stream for the second half game. So Coventry, we haven't seen, since the 6th of March. It's a bit weird because you would think a team that missed a couple of games, it'd be a couple of weeks. But in COVID times, it's 3 games every sort of week period. I know people get pedantic about a 3-game week, but you know what I mean, don't you? Luton versus Coventry. So Luton played pretty well against Swansea, but just didn't have the quality in the end, finishing, did they, to be able to do anything. And Swansea went and got the victory. And again, like Rotherham, we don't know how Coventry are going to come back. As someone said in the chat earlier, rested or rusty? I don't know. No one knows. We'll find out tonight in 5 hours and 16 minutes, as SofaScore kindly tells us. Let's look at the homes and aways. I expected Luton's home form to be top half, actually. And it doesn't look like... I know they could finish the season. They're only 1 point off that sort of accolade, aren't they? But it's the surprising efficiency away from home with so few goals but so many wins that's done really well for Luton. So 15th in the home table. What about Coventry away from home? Not good at all, Cov, there. Only 2 away wins this season and coming back, as I say, rusty or rested. Who the hell knows? Let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. More splinters. There we go. Unless you think it's genuinely going to be a draw. But we've had this conversation before, haven't we? A monkey holds his hands in a 0-0 shape. Interesting. Luton. Coventry. Luton. Pronounce my T's, sorry. Cov. Luton. Cov. Luton. Luton was a smash and grab for us at Luton. They look nice. Luton and Cov are safe now. I think they will be, yeah. Let's pretty good. He's setting me up for pretty good there, isn't he? Luton 3-1. Get back to work, Brian. Big win tonight, 2-0 Luton. Say hello to my missus as well. Hatters. Luton don't have too much to play for, so we all thought it will be a dull watch. Take a point. You look like my missus. Why are you dating her then, Jack? For goodness sake. 2-1 Cov. Luton have 8 goals away. I did a tweet about that. Sensational. I think 6 wins and 2 draws from 8 goals. Wonderful stuff. Go on then. Home. We'll go with a home win there. But ultimately, both of these two to be safe. Well, we'll see, won't we? Finally, guys, Sheffield Wednesday versus Huddersfield in the Jordan Rhodes derby, although we can do that with lots of championship clubs, can't we? Sheffield Wednesday versus Huddersfield. Are Wednesday done now after this? What is that, 7 straight defeats for Wednesday? 28 points for them. They're 7 points adrift of Birmingham. And we all know, because we're contractually obliged to mention, Rotherham's 4 games in hand that they have over a couple of the teams in that bottom 6. Get your predictions in. Sheffield Wednesday, the home team, a draw, or Huddersfield, the away team. There's some argument that Huddersfield have improved in the last few games because they should have beaten Cardiff, shouldn't they? When Sonogo missed that penalty. They won away at QPR and they drew the previous game 1-1 against Birmingham. So feels like there's a little slight trend up for Huddersfield that if they can just ride out for another couple of games, 45 to survive, they would only need another 4 points to reach that total, although we'll see whether it needs to be more than that this season. Let's check our homes and aways. Wednesday's home form. Well, I mean, it's propped up by, they won 5 straight games at one point, didn't they? But now they have lost 3 straight home games to Birmingham, to Rotherham, and to Norwich. So they would have expected more, probably wouldn't have expected anything against Norwich, but the other 2, maybe something there. Huddersfield are not very good away from home. That was only their 3rd away win this season. What do you guys think? I'm not sure on this one. Huddersfield, Wednesday, Huddersfield, Wednesday, draw, Rose to get a goal, of course. Huddersfield, Wednesday, got an odd feeling. Andy Booth, he was a player, wasn't he? Same as Barnsley last season. Hate to say this, Wednesday now that they are playing for pride. Wednesday, home, Wednesday, Tuesday. Huddersfield, both can't lose, draw. Wednesday improving under more. Go on then. Why not? Enough love for Wednesday in there. Home. We will go for that one. Brilliant stuff, guys. That is our 12 championship games, all predicted. We will see how things pan out. I'm sure I will be held to incredibly high account over my predictions and mocked for any that go wrong, and probably rightly so. So tonight I will be live at 6:50, and we're going to be on the red button. So honestly, let me just bring up. We'll probably just start with what we consider the highest ranked game, and then we'll just follow the goals. So probably we'll start tonight with Rotherham and Watford would be the highest ranking game, with Watford second, wouldn't it? So we'll start there and then we'll follow the goals. Obviously, we'll finish with the Bournemouth Swansea game, which will be an interesting second half, I would have thought, or if not interesting, tense and nervous. So join me tonight. If you want to shout out before we go, just bang your name in the comments there and we'll do some shout outs. Let's say thank you once again to the Donovan brothers who sponsor our show in love and memory of Michael, the South East London lifelong Millwall fan, admirer of these shows. Thank you to the Donovan brothers. I think about going all in on Patreon. Classics Reviewed is out today. I do that with my good friend David Diamond of the Blue Monday podcast, who is a savant when it comes to football. Thank you for the super chats. Owen was the king of the bin today. And make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell. Right. Sophie loves this. Move the timing of my lunch breaks. Good work, Sophie. Sensational stuff. Love the super streams. Thank you, James. Join us tonight. You can have a night off, James, if you're a Norwich fan and they're not playing. Cheers, Lock. Yes. Nat. Ben, see you later. Thanks, bro. Gaza and David, see you later. Thanks. Nice one. Jake, thank you for subscribing. Robert, Matt, Cameron, Mr. E, Richard. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. And all that remains for me to do is, well, shout out Neil because his comment just came up, is to say thank you very much. And it's a big see you tonight and over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.